All right. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Daily Money Markets. My name is Che Yusuf. I'm the market analyst and the host of the Daily Money Markets on YouTube. So again, it's another week, new week. We are coming up with a what drives the market at particular time in terms of the forex financial market and financial market in large. Okay, in terms of the volatility, where exactly the volatility is coming from this week, that's where we want to go through, and as well as the politics that actually affect the global financial market. So that's where we want to pay attention when it comes to this week. Last week, if you remember, we were really focusing about the ceasefire that is happening between Iran and the US war. So that's what we were paying attention last week, and we talked about they had agreement in terms of the ceasefire, so that at least they can start having the negotiation about the war, Iran and the US war. Right now, what was crucial that time last week is that the Brent crude oil was at the above in terms of the price, was sitting around $114, right? Which is, if you look at it last week, the week before, the Brent crude oil was dropped all the way to 96, to $96, $95. But after the agreement of that, that ceasefire, we saw the Brent crude oil start spiking up, goes all the way to 140. So we wanted to see from the whole last week what will happen, who's going to respect when it comes to the agreement of ceasefire, and who is not going to respect the agreement of ceasefire. So during the week, a lot of things was happening. Donald Trump talking about Iran, saying that if they don't want to actually respect this agreement of ceasefire, then we need to come up with a different strategy so that they can also not have the opportunity of selling oil. So that was the story that Donald Trump was speaking. Again, Iran side, they were still saying that, there's a couple of things that we need the US to agree with us, in terms of 10.1 agreement that Iran has put through to US. So the negotiation goes all the way through weekend. I think weekend they were in Pakistan, but Pakistan is the ones that are actually holding the negotiation between the Iran and as well as United States of America, right? The negotiation goes on. There was no much in terms of the agreement. That is why on the beginning of the week, Monday, US president said, you know what, if there is no agreement yet, we are going to start the blockade to the Strait of Hormuz, right? So what they are doing is that, remember, Iran has closed the Strait of Hormuz, but China, it's one of the biggest countries that are buying the oil from the Iran. Major, maybe over 70% oil of Iran, it goes to China. Now, Donald Trump is saying, if you are blocking the other people to not go through and actually start actually getting this oil and make some money and do the business, then doesn't make sense you to be selling your oil to the Chinese. So what it decided is to start up with the blockade. We hear on Sunday, getting to Monday, US president announced that the troops, they are going now, the US Navy, they are going to the Strait of Hormuz to do the blockade. Blockade is blocking where Iran's, they're taking out the oil to China. So they're blocking all the ships that comes all the way to Iran and goes to the Chinese side, or the people that are favoring, or Iran's people that are favoring the Iran, right? So that's what actually, by Monday, Sunday to Monday, it's been actually, happening. In that case, it didn't really, shake when it comes to the price of Brent crude oil, or as well as a crude oil, Brent and the crude oil. Not much in terms of movement, but we saw a little bit of dropping to get to the $97 per barrel when it comes to Brent and the crude by beginning of Monday, coming to today, Tuesday, right? Which is a little bit better, below $100 per barrel. A little bit better. If they continue working with this negotiation, then we're expecting the price of crude to continue dropping. So that's the big news when it comes to the politics that affect the global financial market and the forex market And again, today there was one of the ship, the Chinese ship, trying to test the blockade that Donald Trump has actually, put in. And Trump comes out and say that any countries that is going to try to test the blockage that we put, they're going to receive the sanctions from the United States. So, man, crazy stuff are happening. The market volatility is actually, intense at a particular time. But what really gives the market volatility from yesterday Monday to come today is the AI earnings. I think we are earning to the AI first quarter earnings that are actually dropping time to time. I think yesterday there was one of the companies that drops. So it looks like when it comes to the stocks, S&P 500 goes all the way to where it was. I think it goes to, if I may look to S&P 500, goes to 6,888. This is the price where the it was before the war started. Nasdaq got to 25,425, way up. US 30 goes to 48,222. That is really far. Gold also trying to push to 4,767. Anytime it might get to 5,000. Now the question is, why now the market has started now, reacting up? The positivity in terms of the stocks. What is really driving this? One of them, of course, is the AI earnings that just dropped. Looks like the investors, they're no longer really expecting or respect whether the ceasefire agreement or the negotiation talks that are happening between Iran and the US to determine the movement of the stocks where they're going. Now they're actually going back to the data analysis, which is taking the data of those stocks. S&P 500, Nasdaq, there's over 100 technology companies under NAS 100, right? Now, if the earnings of NAS 100 are being released, what will happen to the stocks? If the earnings are positive, the stocks has to go up. If the earnings are negative, the stocks has to go down. So that's the data analytic that they're using to determine the price of stocks or the movement of stocks where it's gonna go, rather than determining the movement of the stocks and the assets based on the war, right? So we see that now there's a separation between energy stocks or energy asset, crude oil, Brent crude oil, and the stocks itself, from US stocks to Euro stocks. They are moving differently rather than past 2 weeks. They were actually moving together. So that's really what actually moving at particular time when it comes to global financial market and the politics. But when it comes to the events that will coming this week, we see Tuesday, which is today, there will be a producer price index from United States. Again, this is very they've been producing to feed people of that region. Okay, so goes all the way. The high impact comes again on Wednesday. That will be from Australia. There's an unemployment rate from Australia, and the Great British Pounds, again GDP. They are dropping the GDP on Thursday from British. It will be around 8 a.m. in the morning. So that will be Thursday. So not much that we are seeing in terms of volatility. But right now we are mostly focused and watching what is happening about the war. Although JD Vance, which is the vice president, says made a lot of progress in talks with Iran. That's what Vance says, that there's a little bit of more progress in talks between the US and Iran. So yeah, man, that's it when it comes to the politics that are affecting the global financial market. We're gonna monitor the trades this week, see where the market is going. But right now, the positivity is that the stocks, they're all up, from S&P 500, NAS 100, which is technology stocks, to US 30. Gold is start pushing up again, price to 4,782, which gives a little bit of positivity. When it comes to oil, it's dropping to below $100 per barrel. That gives us a little bit of positivity when it comes to the global financial market and trading for ourselves. So man, wishing you all the best for this week in terms of looking into a market and trading. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please subscribe, share with other guys who actually need to trade. There'll be a link on the description for a broker that you can sign up an account and start participating in this global financial market for just a minimum of maybe $20. You can put it on an account and start actually, trading. So thanks a lot. Catch you in the next video. Thank you.